It's me, Renee. I'm back. So, today I want to start a new book, but I'm not sure which book. And I decided I'm going to do the one chapter challenge. The challenge is a video, I'm not sure how to describe it, where you read one chapter from each book and then decide which book to read. To start. I am going to read them all, I just don't know which one I'm going to start. So, my choices are these. It's either The Summit Solution by G.L. Carriger, Werewolves, Sexiness, Stuff Happening, and then it's and it's also gay, as you might have guessed. Then you have Palace of Spies by Sarah Settle, which is historical mystery with some romance in it. It's supposed to be very fun, like funny. I've heard great things about this one as well. Then you have Bloody Rose by Nicholas Eames, which is high fantasy, but it's supposed to be slightly based on 80s music, so that's kind of interesting. And it has like a group of girls, that's cool. And then we have Diary of a Bookseller, which is the story of the day-to-day life of a bookseller in Scotland, Edinburgh. So it's supposed to be very funny. Well, suddenly all my books are flying around. It's supposed to be very funny. And kind of in the mood for this one. Thinking I might try this one, but I'm not sure. Like maybe the others has better first chapters. I'm not sure. And then lastly, we have Here There Be Dragons by James A. Owen, which is the first in the series about dragons. I actually think it's high fantasy, not urban fantasy, though I'm not quite sure. It's supposed to be very funny, and yeah. So this is my intro, and now I'm gonna read, and I'll come back to you. So yeah, I'm back a bit soon. I decided I've changed my mind. I think there's probably several versions of this, but I suppose it's kind of boring for you to just see the books and then know which book I chose without me like giving anything more to you. And yeah, for me also it's kind of fun to like hear the beginning. So I actually decided I'm gonna read the first page of each book. So not the first chapter, but first page. And from that, I'm gonna decide which one to read. And yeah, of course, I'm gonna read it out loud to you guys, my nice, beautiful viewers. Okay, so I tried to do it like that. I suppose I could, but yeah. Chapter 1 of The Summit Solution. Impatient werewolves and exploding kitsune. Barker! The shout cut through Maximilian Barker's eardrum, making him jump. He hit his rickety desk with the tops of his tights. Of course it wobbled, scattering paperwork everywhere. What? He asked the earbud. Get your scrawny ass down to the parking lot. Max put the form he'd been frowning over down on his now messy desk. Werewolves. Why did I have to get the werewolves for processing? Barker, you lazy fuck! Move! The earbud squawked again. His boss wasn't known for his patience. I'm moving. You licked your girlfriend's ass with that tongue? And Max was in the hall and heading toward the parking lot. Co-workers lunged out of his way. He refused to run. And Max was tall with a propensity to gangle, meaning that him moving at speed looked unstable and might cause a panic. But he did scowl. Well, scowl more than usual. Why? You offering to sub in, you useless waste of space? Speaking of useless, what the hell do you need me for, boss? You never need me. You're the only place that we got on staff. This seems very promising and interesting. A very fun first page, really, full of action and full of humor, which really captivates my attention. So this is high up there for it to be chosen. Here, Baby Dragons. Let me see how the first page of that one is. Oh, cool. It has a contents page. Cool. Oh, so beautiful. Let's read it back. Yeah, I'm just gonna read the prologue. There's a prologue, and in chapter 1, I'm gonna start with the prologue. Well, the first page of the prologue. Prologue. Words. It was a very distinct sound, a quiet scraping of steel on stone. That first told him his visitors had arrived, followed by a strange sort of tapping and a shuffling of feet. The tapping outside in the alleyway became more pronounced, and he suddenly realized it was less the sound of tapping than it was a soft cacophony of claws snapping together in anticipation. He set aside his pen and notebook and settled back in his chair. There was no denying it. It was time. The strained amber lights of an English afternoon streamed through the greasy windows of the door as it slowly opened into the study. He refilled his pipe with his special cinnamon tobacco mix and noted with passing interest that clouds were beginning to gather on the far horizon. A storm was coming. It didn't matter, he thought to himself with some satisfaction. He had said the things he needed to say to the person who needed to hear them. He had protected the precious stewardship that needed protecting, and passed it to those who would use it wisely and well. There was, he concluded, not much more that could be asked of an old scholar in this world in his lifetime. Ah, I really like it. It's interesting. It's not that humorous, but it's like intriguing. You're like thinking, what's going on? What's this dealio? So something is like brewing up. Something is happening. Something is going on. I really like it. So an option was there all options, but yeah. And now for the Diary of a Bookseller. It's such a perfect, nice cover, isn't it? Nice cover. Okay, I'm gonna get to reading. Oh, cool. He has a whole page of praise. It's gotta be good. Yeah, let's start. February. Would I like to be a bookseller? The Messier. On the whole, in spite of my employer's kindness to me, and some happy days spent in the shop. No. Quote from George Orwell, Bookshop Memories, London, November 1946. Orwell's reluctance to commit to bookselling is understandable. There is a stereotype of the impatient, intolerant, antisocial protector, played so perfectly by Dylan Moran in Black Books, and it seems, on the whole, to be true. There are exceptions, of course, and many booksellers do not conform to this type. Sadly, I do. It was not always thus, though, and therefore buying the shop, I recall being quite amenable and friendly. The constant barrage of dull questions, the parlour's finances of the business, the instant arguments with staff, and the unending, exhausting, haggling customers have reduced me to this. Would I change any of it? No. When I first saw the bookshop in Wigtown, I was 18 years old, back in my hometown and about to leave for university. I clearly remember walking past it with a friend and commenting that I was quite certain that we would be closed within a year. 12 years later, while visiting my parents at Christmas time, I called in to see if they had a copy of Three Fevers in stock by Leo Walmsley. And while I was talking to the owner, admitted to him that I was struggling to find a job I enjoyed. He suggested that I buy his shop since he was keen to retire. When I told him that I didn't have any money, he replied, "You don't need money. What do you think banks are for?" Less than a year later, on November 1st, On 1st of November 2001, a month to the day of my 31st birthday, the place became mine. Before I took over, I ought perhaps to have read a piece of George Orwell's writing published in 1936. Bookshop Memories rings as true today as it did then, and sounds as solitary warning to anyone as naive as I was that the world of selling second-hand books is not quite an ideal of sitting in an armchair by roaring fire, with your slipper-clad feet up, smoking a pipe and reading Gibbon's Decline and Fall, while a stream of charming customers engages you in intelligent conversation before parting with fistfuls of cash. Then I had to walk over to the next page because sentence I couldn't stop mid-sentence. But yeah, what's interesting? So far, it's interesting. They definitely got a different tone than the other books. It feels more like a non-fiction book. Some people say it's a fiction book. To me, this at least start feels more non-fictiony, like more memoiry. I'm liking it. It's good. I'm not sure this is what I want to read now though. But let's read the others and see. So next we have a Palace of Spies by Sarah Cecil. So let's see how this one opens. Chapter 1, London 1716, in which a dramatic reading commences, and our heroine receives an unexpected summons. I love books with chapter titles, and funny and long ones. I must begin with a frank confession. I am Lady Francesca Wellingham, only after I met the man calling himself Tinderflint. That was after my betrothal, but before my uncle threw me into the streets and barred the door. Before these events, I was simply Margaret Preston Fitzroy, mostly known as Peggy, and I began that morning as I did most others, at breakfast with cousin Olivia, reading the newspapers. We had bribed the housemaid to smuggle out of Uncle's book room. Is there any agony this morning? Asked my cousin, as she spread her napkin over a flowered muslin skirt. I scanned the tidy columns of type in front of me. Uncle Pierpont's favoured the morning gazettes for its tables of shipping information, but there were other advertisements there as well. Interesting. I really like how you have different characters and you have the first paragraph is so it gives you a taste of what's to come. Okay, so this is happening, but it hasn't happened yet. So far, this is a huge contender. I'm really liking this, really. And then for the last one, Bloody Rose by Nicholas Eames. Let me see. Ooh, it has a map. Beautiful. It has 2 maps! Cool! Okay, yeah, there's 2 maps, not 3 maps. I suppose it could be, but yeah. Okay, chapter 1. The Monster Market. The Monster Market. Wow. I suppose it seems like I'm wanting to eat monsters, which I don't. It's just a fun, really, chapter title. Intriguing. Tom's mother used to say she had a wild heart. It means you're a dreamer, she told her daughter. A wanderer like me. It means you ought to be careful, her father had added. A wild heart needs a wise mind to temper it, and a strong arm to keep it safe. Her mother had smiled at that. You're my strong arm, Tuck, and Bran is my wise mind. Brannigan? You know I love him, Lil, but your brother would eat yellow snow. You told him it tastes like whiskey. Sam remembered her mother's laughter as a kind of music. Had her father laughed? Probably not. Tuck Ashford had never been much for laughing. Not before his wife's wild heart got her killed, and never once after. Girl! Hey girl! Sam blinked. A merchant with whisked jowls and a fringe of yellowed hair was sizing her up. A little young for a wrangler, ain't you? She straightened, as if being taller meant something older. So? So? He scratched a scab on the bald crown of his head. What brings you to a monster market? You in a band or something? Hmm, I really like it. It's a nice opening. As I said, I think I've said this before. I probably have. Might have anyway. Even though, as you might notice, I really like fantasy, I'm still like a bit hesitant to high fantasy. Like, of course, I've had some good things with it. I'm still like a bit cautious because with high fantasy you have a whole new world. With urban fantasy you have our world, just some stuff added on really. So high fantasy you have to get used to a whole new system and stuff. And I suppose I'm a bit lazy, or not lazy, but I'm like, yeah, I'm generally a bit scared of that. Like you have to do high fantasy. It's not that easy to do, at least not in my mind. So it's not that easy to find good high fantasy, at least not for me. Maybe it's because I'm dumb, but like sometimes like when the world is too complex and stuff, it's like, what? And it's too much for me. But so far, Bloody Rose seems to be good. It's not confusing or anything so far. I suppose yeah, it could get confusing after a while, but hopefully, if it gets confusing, uh, it will be explained easily. So far, I'm liking this. But honestly, I'm thinking of all this, which I want to start today, right now. I'm thinking it's most between this and this. I'm thinking most in mood for those. Um, it is rainy outside. I'm kind of thinking like this is a rainy book. For some reason, I'm feeling this one. So yeah, I'm going with it. And it's also Gail Carriger, which is Gail Carriger, so it's very funny. It's kind of noticed from the first page. So yeah, I'm going with this one first. Now I'm thinking I might go with this one after that, and then Bloody Rose. But I suppose then again, who knows? I'm very mood reader. And yeah, also like if you pay attention, I have other books I'm reading as well. Like I need more books at the same time, and I'm thinking I might start this and finish this today. Like it's not big, and I kind of want to like start one book and finish it today. I might do that. Anyway, I will want to finish it. Finish it. I want to start it. So yeah, this is the book I'm choosing. I hope you got something out of this fun little video. And yeah, hope you have a nice day. Stay safe. Stay inside. Stay healthy. This is me saying Renee.